How's it going, everyone? Welcome to Conti and Nick. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. The first time they go offense, they take Jordan Love? They take Jordan Love!
Listen, Matisse Thybulle will lock up CP3.
Oh my god.
Chris Paul.
Oh my god.
Chris Paul, baby. Right, Will?
Nope, I totally disagree. Look. Welcome back to Conti and Nick. It's a big episode 50 today. It's another mark, another big mark.
It's a big mark.
Yeah, we're back here in Marshfield, getting ready to do the episode, and I just moved out of college like about an hour ago. It's a little weird, I'm not gonna lie, being back where it all started, and we're gonna be here until September.
Until further notice.
Literally until further notice.
More guests now that we're all
Oh,
here.
absolutely, yeah.
Expect a lot more guests. We don't got nothing today,
Yeah.
but next week for sure, I believe Big Jake wants to come back on.
Oh boy,
So
I love it.
Put your kids to bed early.
Yeah, I know, right? Put your kids to
This
bed
is gonna
early.
be-
Don't let him come. Don't let him come to the show. It's not worth
This
it.
is gonna be TVMA when
Yeah,
he
exactly.
comes on.
Exactly.
So, real quick before we started, a few months back, Will Nicholson gave me United States currency, the amount $5, for a bet that we made
It's true.
of Dolphins versus Raiders, and he was wrong. I was right.
Which went into OT. It was a great football game.
Today, I'm on the other side of that coin. I am sorry, this isn't all singles, Will Nicholson.
That's quite alright.
But here are your $5.
Oh, thank you,
I
Conti.
cannot fucking believe Derek Stingley was taking number 3.
You know what's crazy?
What?
Neither can I. Neither can I. We're gonna talk about a little bit of.
Definitely felt great. Definitely felt great getting that phone call immediately after.
Oh, that was the best. I was so I'm sitting in my common room with my roommate Tom Delory, great guy, and he's getting ready to go on a flight to Denver because he's got to go to a wedding.
Yep.
He's leaving like the next morning, and he's sitting there watching the draft with me. And the Texans are picking. I'm going, come on, Stingley, and they pick Stingley. I stand up and go, let's fucking go at like 9 o'clock at night. And I just immediately call Conti, and he goes, I can't fucking believe it.
I can't.
I'm like, neither can I.
I can't. Hey, you know what? Like I said, now I know that there are 2 nonsensical people in the world.
Exactly.
The Raiders GM and Will Nicholson.
They both don't make sense.
Hey, you know what? I mean, I guess that means somebody in that Texans organization listened to the show and like what you had to say.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just like, the upside, man, it's there.
Yeah, I mean, it's somewhere, I guess, in some fucking distant universe.
It feels like a Texans thing, right? The Texans,
dude,
the Texans are like, oh yeah, LSU corner. Yeah, it doesn't matter. There's a whole compilation of YouTube of him getting burned by NFL wide receivers, which, by the way, there is. You should 100% go watch it. It's hilarious, I must say.
You know what? I mean, let me tell you. Why wouldn't you want the guy? I'm sorry. Why would you want the guy who never let up a touchdown?
Yeah.
Why would you want him?
Sure thing. Why would you? Didn't he let up? His stats are insane. Sauce's stats are ridiculous.
Take the guy who only had a great freshman year and then was inconsistent all 3 of his other years. No, why would you want the guy?
But Gino, he changed his number to 7.
Huh?
But he changed his number to 7, Gino.
Oh my God,
Gino, he went from 24 to 7.
Wanna know what happens?
God,
I know a guy that went 35 to 7 and got swept in the first round by Boston.
That's true. That's a good point.
So guess what?
That's a good point.
Not gonna work out too well, is it, my friend?
No, it's not.
Well,
no, it is not.
Texans, enjoy futility. On the defensive side of the ball, enjoy futility.
Exactly. I like Davis Mills. I do like what they're doing.
I like Mills.
Slightly what they're doing on offense.
I love it.
We'll get into
episode
it.
31, I called it. I go, watch this. Davis Mills, Nico Collins, and Brevin Jordan are going to be triplets. I called it.
We still have yet to see. I'm holding you to that, though.
Okay.
I'm holding you to
Absolutely
that.
do it.
All right, so do you want to jump into your winners or losers first, Conti?
I think the question is, do you want to do it?
Ooh, you know what? I kind of want to do winners. We'll get the good out of the way, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? Nah, let's get the bad out of the way.
All right, fine.
All right, we'll start with the bad because we're gonna jump right into it since we're on the Texans. One of my losers is actually the Texans. I have the Texans being a loser for this draft. I will say this one's a little bit nitpicky, and we're gonna go into more teams where I think are absolutely losers. Obviously, Stingley was not the right pick. It wasn't. It was a prediction by me. That doesn't mean it was right. I don't like that they picked Stingley here, but the fact that they looked at him way too much was like, oh, okay, like they're having a lot of meetings with Stingley.
I couldn't believe it.
I honestly couldn't believe it either, because I am on record of saying I still believe Sauce was the best corner in this draft. It wasn't close. He is, bigger, more athletic, and his stats were way better.
He's the prototypical corner
exactly
that you want in today's NFL. And
absolutely.
And you look at it, and yeah, stats. You can look at stats all you want, but I argue, Will, when you actually have less stats as a corner, that's a good thing.
Yeah. If
you are an everyday starting cornerback and you actually have less stats than, say, someone like Trayvon Diggs, like, look, no one's going to argue that Jalen Ramsey is, or about Xavier Howard, or Jalen Ramsey, or Trayvon Diggs. That's the word I'm trying to say. Like, guys who get high numbers of picks, but we all know Jalen Ramsey's better because he's locked down.
Absolutely.
Trayvon Diggs is a 50-50 corner. He's the J.R. Smith. He's the J.R. Smith of the NFL.
I love that comparison.
He either does the best thing you've ever seen and the worst. Like, it's crazy. Like, that's it. But no one argues. And when you're a corner, like I said, with Jalen Ramsey, I mean, you're going to get low amounts of picks because you're locking down. And same thing with Darrelle Revis. I love Darrelle Revis. I think, in my opinion, besides Tom Brady, he's a top 5 player I've personally ever seen play football.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you feel the same, but that's how I feel. So that's why I tell my guys all the time, I go, I don't care if you don't get a single interception. I don't care if this unit doesn't get a single interception all season, because that means you did your job.
Absolutely.
That means you did your job, and I can't fault you for it.
No, I agree. I think being a ball hawk is important to a certain degree.
Oh, of course it is.
Like, you want to get turnovers.
Yeah,
you
need that break.
It's one thing or another when it comes to, okay, am I getting turnovers because the ball is coming to me a lot, or the couple of times they dare throw my way?
Yeah,
you make a play on the ball.
Or is it because you just play such like lockdown defense, like man zone, whatever it may be, that you get a sack, or it's a shorted, like you need 5 yards and you get 3, and it's a turnover on downs.
Yeah.
Because don't forget, like a turnover on downs is still a turnover. Yeah. Obviously turnover on downs, but obviously no shit. But you know what I'm trying to say.
No, I know what you mean. So I will say, for Stingley, he has the tools to be an NFL corner.
HOFER.
Yeah, sure. He's got the tools. He looks like a corner. He looks like your NFL corner. He passes the eye test. It's just all about what can he do on the field. Like I said, you can literally look it up on YouTube. There is compilation of him going against like Alabama, LSU, and
Sauce, you said?
No, Derek.
Well, Stingley played in LSU.
Stingley. Or no, sorry, not LSU.
Like Clemson?
Yeah, Clemson,
like
Alabama.
Guys like T. Higgins.
Yes. So he's playing against real NFL wide receivers. And he gets burned a lot. I think Jerry Jeudy like torched him for like 100 yards just on him that game. So it's not great, right? It's but I still think he has the tools. He's gonna have to get coached up for sure. I don't know. Like I said, I don't like the pick the Texans made. But
let's think about this. How do you think in practice he fared against Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson?
Probably not much better. Probably not much better at all. And also, one more thing to mention the Texans. I don't like them taking Kenyon Green.
I like the pick. It was a very safe pick.
It's a safe pick.
He's going to be a good player.
But I would have liked Zion Johnson. I like Zion Johnson better if you're going to go interior lineman. I really like Zion Johnson. I feel like Zion Johnson has a little more nasty, and he has a little bit better of getting to the second level, which I liked, and I think you kind of need for a rebuilding team. Again, that's more nitpicky, but I would have much rather. You
just want to see the New England guys getting guys from Boston College.
That too. Who wasn't Linderbaum was still on the board there too,
yes.
right?
But so he's projected more of a center.
Sure.
But I mean, he can kick in and play guard. But
absolutely.
I mean, there's really no point in taking a first round guy that high if you're just going to convert him.
Sure.
If you pick a guy like that, you pick him to play his.
Absolutely. Yeah. Who do you got for a loser, Gino?
You only have the Texans?
No, I got more.
Oh, list of all your losers.
All right, so we'll keep going through. My losers, I have the Cowboys as another loser. Tyler Smith made no sense. I get you want an offensive lineman,
too, didn't you?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah, all the picks I predicted were awful. No, but
hey, whatever, you got it right.
Yeah, right. Tyler Smith to the Cowboys. I mean, he's just a penalty machine. And that's not what the Cowboys need. If you remember in the game that they lost to the 49ers, it was penalties. They just kept on getting penalty on penalty. There was holds. There was defensive pass interference. It was all over the place. I had Zion Johnson going to the Cowboys. Never mind. So I got that one.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I had to double check that. I had Tyler Smith going to Texas.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I had him around the same range though, the 24 to 26 range.
Oh, whatever.
But he's just a penalty machine. And I get, yeah, he's got a little bit of nasty to him. He does. I think that's the main thing when you talk about his film. It's nasty. That's what it is. He finishes blocks. He gets guys to the ground. But
He's boomer bust.
absolutely.
Yeah, he's boomer bust.
But I don't understand. I really don't understand this pick. I mean, I get you need offensive line help, but it's too many penalties for me, and I didn't like the pick. So we'll move on to. I'll go to the Vikings next. I think the Vikings are another loser of mine. First of all,
goodness.
they traded down and down and down and down, all just for them to take Louis Cine. Right? Come on, like I don't like that move. I don't. I feel like they could have gotten some value there. There were guys on the board, and they traded back, and they traded all the way back, like way back. So I have them as my other loser, and then finally I'm gonna go with the Jags. I don't like how they took Walker over Hutchinson. I also don't really like the Devin Lloyd pick. I get he's big athletic, he's a linebacker, but I don't know. I feel like the Jags could have done a lot better in this draft, and I feel
what
like
would
they
you have
whiffed.
rather them done?
All right, so there were some guys still on the board at that point, right? I'm gonna pull up the draft board.
I mean,
we have it open.
Karlaftis was still there.
Karlaftis was still there. I understand Nakobe Dean fell. Andrew Booth was still there. Jermaine Johnson, I believe, was still there. So there was a lot of guys that were. Wait, no,
because Jermaine Johnson was taking the pick
okay,
before.
You're right.
Because the Jets traded up.
Andrew Booth was still there. There were still guys that were there. Like there was a lot of people that were still there. And I don't know. I disagree with the. I think they could have done more. I wish the Jags did more. Kind of how a couple of winners, just to spoil it, I guess. The Jets had a phenomenal draft. The Giants had a phenomenal draft, and I don't agree with what the Jags have done. I feel like they could have and they should have done more. I would have liked to see them move up. I feel like any of the teams who really traded down for the most part didn't really win, it feels like, besides a handful. But pretty much anyone who traded up, had a better draft. Anyone who went up and got one of these wide receivers, I mean, had to, right? Like, they all went so quickly. But those are my losers.
So here are my losers. I'm with you. I got the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah.
Round 1, pick 1, Trayvon Walker. You tried to get fancy. You tried to be smarter than everyone else, okay? That's you as a GM trying to be like, oh, really? You all think that Aiden Hutchinson is the best. Well, I know something you don't know. No. Aiden Hutchinson by far was the best player in this draft. Trayvon Walker, yes, has the potential. But, come on, like, if you have the layup, you take the layup. Yeah. Okay, like, listen, Lonzo Ball.
I wouldn't even be mad if they took Iki.
If they took, well, it wouldn't have made much sense because they got Sheriff and Cam Robinson and Walker Little last year.
Sure.
So, I mean, listen, like, if everyone was like, what would you have done if they were like, oh, well, Lonzo Ball is an extraordinary player. I'm not going to take Jason Tatum. Well, it's pretty much what Lakers. They did. Yeah. But, I mean, but essentially say if they had, like, the number 1 overall pick. That's what
Hutchinson's too safe.
Yeah, too safe for my liking. He wears a hard hat, gloves, and safety goggles.
Too safe.
Trayvon Walker doesn't
need
safety goggles.
No, like actually though, it's bad. Like I hate it. This is draft fatigue. What was the one knock that people had on Aiden Hutchinson?
He had one bad game.
His one bad game
against
and
Georgia.
His arms were short, a little bit shorter. And they thought that would affect him at the league because he wouldn't be able to do enough hand
Drew
fighting.
Brees was an absolute bust because he was a short quarterback.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Drew Brees sucks.
Yep. Horrible.
But anyway, so and the other one, I like Devin Lloyd. Good pick. Okay, Luke Fortner. I mean, he's a solid offensive tackle. They took him in round 3, pick 65. He's a solid guy. He's somebody who you can kick inside to guard and kind of develop. He could probably be that Cam Robinson replacement since you franchise tagged him. So I understand why you took him. Definitely, he's not boomer bust. I think he'll be solid. He'll have a good, decent career in the league. But, I mean, you could have done a little bit better, in my opinion. There was another couple tackles still on the board that I would have preferred. And then Chad Muma. I like Chad Muma. I think he has good pursuit. He's a little one-dimensional, but he is speedy, and I do think he can do some nice things for that defense. But that is a crowded linebacker room because they did pay Foye Said Alucon $15 million a year. You also have Trayvon Walker, who can play linebacker, and you have Devin Lloyd. So I'm kind of interested where Chad Muma goes in there. That's one of my things for the Jaguars. Cowboys, I'm with you again. Another one of my losers. I mean, Tyler Smith, like you said, you covered it, is a penalty machine. He's a boomer bust. I get that Tyron Smith is getting older and injury prone. You kind of want to get that heir apparent. But again, I really don't think I wouldn't say this year. I really don't think at this pick picking a guy with that much downside. Is that necessary? I think that he'll need a lot of coaching and a lot of mentorship.
I can't believe Karloff fell as much as he did.
I know. I
there's so many
agree.
teams who should have absolutely took him.
Tyron Smith can do it. Don't get me wrong. But I mean, I don't like the pick. I feel as though you could have done a lot better. Round 2, Sam Williams. He is also very one-dimensional. He's speedy. But my big knock on him is he has a lot of off-the-field issues with, I believe it was sexual misconduct. I mean, if you're Dallas, I mean, you're always in the limelight. Why don't you just take a guy who's a good role model? Exactly. If you're America's team, wouldn't you want America to be represented by good role models?
Throw him to the Raiders. They'll figure it out.
Exactly.
And
then pick 3 was Jalen Tolbert, a good wide receiver, and they needed depth. He's a smooth route runner, so I actually don't mind that pick. But those first 2 really don't sit well with me if you're Dallas. The New Orleans Saints are actually another loser of mine.
I thought about putting them there.
I think personally that Olave at 11 was a reach.
Oh,
massive. He definitely was a first-round talent. But not only was it a reach at 11, you traded up. I believe it was 8 spots you traded up for him.
It was pretty big. So they went from 19 to 11. Yeah.
Which, to me, in my life, I don't know. I would have traded up personally with Washington and gotten Jahan Dotson. I think you actually would have gotten some similar production there. I think Jahan Dotson's actually going to be better than Garrett Wilson. Personally, I really think that Jahan Dotson's upside, just his route running, his smooth ability, being able to learn any playbook, his smarts.
He's no Tyquan Thornton, though. That's for
I
sure.
love Tyquan Thornton.
That
was a great pick.
Love that pick, and I don't, just to go for the Patriots real quick, I don't know why people are upset with this pick.
Well, he was projected to be more of a third rounder, and we traded up for him in the second round.
Sure, but
so I get why people would be upset when they look at it, but if you really look at that guy's upside, I mean, Tyquan Thornton, the sky's the limit for him.
Absolutely.
And so going through the other 2 picks, Trevor Penning, just like Tyler Smith, Boomer bust, but he's a mountain of a man. And actually, we can't say that about Tyler Smith, which what makes it like a little bit more confusing, the Dallas one as well, because Trevor Penning, same thing, penalty machine, holds a lot, throws like defensive ends into Desmond Ridder. I don't know if you saw that.
I've seen that. Yeah.
But I mean, at least he has like the menacing size to be able to hold his own.
Yes.
And then
I feel like he can actually get better with coaching.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then
Tyler Smith, I don't know. It's gonna take a lot.
Yeah.
It's gonna take a lot.
And then
him.
Alontae Taylor, good pick. That was a second round pick, 49. Alontae Taylor, safety corner hybrid, very good pick. I actually think he's gonna be a big impact player. And then one more I have for losers, the Tennessee Titans. I mean, you traded away AJ Brown. You got a first round pick. But then what did you do? You drafted Treylon Burks with pick 18, which was a reach. And not only was it a reach, but you're getting literally the same exact player. So your offense
I think his comparisons were literally AJ Brown.
So it's like, listen, I'm not saying that it's bad to get his replacement. But clearly, that offense. Yeah. I mean, it was Derrick Henry.
They literally got his replacement.
And listen, I'm not really one to complain that you're gonna have a lack of weapons or trying to upgrade your weapons, but you didn't upgrade. You literally downgraded and then went back. They did like a 360. They did a complete 360. It's stupid. I don't like that. I'm not saying that Treylon Burks can't be a good player. He might even be as good as A.J. Brown, but we've seen this Titans offense with A.J. Brown, and they didn't win anything.
Nope.
So I mean, what are you doing?
I don't understand. I get moving on from A.J. Brown if you don't want to pay him, but I don't know. I don't get why they don't pay A.J. Brown. He was one of the better receivers in the league. He's a big body. He's got great hands.
He is kind of injury prone.
Sure, but I mean, I don't know if this is a great move.
I
do like how they were the team that took a shot on Malik Willis, though. Which, by the way, the biggest draft whiff I will ever have was having.
Oh, me too. I did too.
Having Malik Willis going 2, and then he goes in the 3rd round.
Pick 86. I did it too. I'm guilty of it as well.
It's insane.
So real quick to recap, round 2, pick 35. Roger McCreary. Now, I don't like this pick at all. He's a short player, and he doesn't really have a lot of upside. Usually when I talk about short corners and short defensive backs, we look at guys like Asante Samuel. We look at guys like Trent McDuffie, who I'm very high on.
Gino Conti.
Yeah, Gino Conti. I mean, like guys with extremely high upside and guys who really don't play like they're 5'11" or 5'10". You know, short.
5'3".
Yeah, 5'3". Hell yeah, baby. Hell yeah. Guys who don't really play like that. Roger McCreary is a good player. I mean, he's very technically and fundamentally sound, but he plays like he's 5'10". That's why I think he really should have. I don't like the pick at all. I don't like Roger McCreary. No true upside with him. Round 3, pick 69, Nicholas Petit-Frere, tackle. Good pick. I think that's going to be a good Taylor Lewan replacement with some coaching. And then obviously Malik Willis, I don't like him. But if you can get him in the 3rd round, then you take him.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So those are my losers.
All right, perfect. I guess we'll jump into my winners. First of all, I want to go to my opinion, the biggest winner of the night. They have an A++ in my opinion. The Jets had a phenomenal draft. First of all, you get Sauce Gardner, who I already know Gino loves. I'm very high on him too. Very, very talented. You go and get Zach Wilson, a real weapon in Garrett Wilson. And also you trade up later in the first round.
I'm not high. I'm not high on him.
I think that he's probably the most polished route runner in the draft.
He is, okay, and I like him, but you had, and I know like this isn't really my argument for not liking him.
Sure.
But when you go to the New York Jets, I said this, you got it right, but I will say this. The New York Jets have guys who are polished route runners. Denzel Mims is a good polished route runner. Braxton Berrios is a good slot receiver, and then Elijah Moore is a deep threat. You have two guys.
But those are guys who you know who they are. Garrett Wilson has very high potential.
He does.
He does.
He does.
He can be easily, like one of the dogs in the league.
See, I like him, and I do. He has great verticality, or
yes.
verticality. Yeah, verticality. However the hell you say it. He has great verticality, and I definitely think that's going to fare well. But if I would have been more aggressive with the 10th pick, and I would have actually traded that up and gotten Drake London.
Yeah, I think he was a better fit.
He complements that offense
honestly,
so well.
I didn't really like Atlanta taking him either. I get that their wide receiver room was, and like you can't have Kyle Pitts do it all, but I don't know. I really thought Atlanta was either going to go edge rusher or tackle in this draft.
I mean, they were desperate. Yeah, Atlanta's desperate for receivers.
Absolutely.
Man. So, and I don't really like it for this year because for all intents and purposes, Pitts is a wide receiver. I mean, let's be real. So
he really is.
Yeah, so I mean, London and Pitts are kind of the similar guys. I know technically he's a tight end, but when Calvin Ridley comes back, you'll have a good variety of weapons. So I do like that for Atlanta.
My point still stands with Garrett Wilson. I think this is a great pick for the Jets. Okay, we're at 10. Wide receivers are going quickly off the board. We know that they're all about to go. Let's get the best guy right now. Let's go get Garrett Wilson. We need him. We need a receiver. We need to give Zach Wilson weapons. Go ahead and get him. And also, I think that the biggest steal of the draft was them trading back up and getting Jermaine Johnson.
That was a huge steal.
Huge
20-something?
26. That's absurd.
Huge steal. I had him going 8th overall.
Yeah, massive.
And a lot of other people had him going in the top 10.
He's a talented player.
Yes,
very talented
lots
player.
of mock drafts I've seen have him going in the top 10 as well. I don't know what the hell happened.
That's crazy.
Let's do it.
And Aiden has walked into the Conti and Nich set. Aiden,
what's up, baby?
Can you name me one player that got drafted at the NFL draft this past day?
No, I cannot because I didn't watch it.
It's all good.
My boy. What up, baby? What's
Aiden,
up, dog?
Straight out of school here, live on Conti and Nich. We'll go on to my other winners, I guess. Here, the Jets. I think were my top of the top winners. But also, I mean, not that far away was the Giants. I think the Giants had a phenomenal draft, especially in the first round. You get, honestly, 2 players who were debated going number 1 overall before all kind of the
Evan
draft.
Neal and Thibodeau,
Yeah, Evan Neal and Thibodeau. They got. I really think Thibodeau is going to be good. I feel like we fell for the mirage too much of, does he have the work ethic? Does he have this? Does he have that? I feel like he's committed. I don't know the way that he. I don't know. It's hard to explain the way that he carried himself up to the stage. Like I went 5, I went 5th. Okay, and then he's getting hype with that Make-A-Wish kit, which was awesome.
Got that chip on the shoulder.
Absolutely, yeah. And I also really, really like
he has the best
Neal
first
pick.
step in the draft.
Oh, it's not even close.
He has the best first step in the draft.
He is so athletically gifted. He was more athletically gifted, in my opinion, than both Hutchinson and Walker.
Walker was a given.
Yeah.
Well, and because Walker does have that versatility.
Sure.
So I think their athleticism is on par, but you can't really compare them really because it's linebacker and defensive line.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's strange.
Love the Evan Neal pick too. That was a fantastic pick. I thought the Giants were going to do something stupid and they were going to reach at this pick, and I thought they were going to go wide receiver, even though they need a better wide receiver room in theory, but you don't reach at that right now. This was very good to build the culture, I think, of the Giants.
Do we count getting does it count getting the Evan Neal pick right? Because I had him going 5th and he went 7th. Does
Yeah.
that count getting
Yeah,
it right?
no, that's right. Yeah, we
Okay.
take that. Yeah,
Okay, fine.
you got the right team. If you get the right number or the right team, it counts.
All right, fine.
we count that. Another winner I have is the Ravens, just sitting right where they are. Kyle Hamilton falls right into their or no, they traded up. I'm sorry for Hamilton, right?
14 was their pick.
That was their pick.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
And
so
then they traded up for Linderbaum.
Okay, I got those mixed up. So they sit right where they are. They get Kyle Hamilton, who, in my opinion, could easily have been a top 3 player in the draft as far as talent goes.
You thought he was going at 6 to Carolina.
I did. I really did. I thought that was going to be a good pick, but I will say Okongwu fell, and that was a great pick by Carolina, too. But, I mean, if you're the Ravens, you sit back and you get Kyle Hamilton right in your laps, he's instantly going to affect this defense. I mean, right away, he's a day one starter, in my opinion, and I really think he upgrades your secondary to another level.
They desperately needed secondary.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And I believe they got a corner later, too, right? A couple of rounds later, the second round.
No, the Ravens, so they got Linderbaum, they got Ojabo, Travis Jones, and then Daniel Falele.
Okay.
So,
still another great draft.
I have
from the
them.
Ravens.
I have them for so far the 4. I do believe in 5 or 6 they got some secondary players.
Yes.
I don't remember their names.
No, I don't either.
Yeah.
Also, Linderbaum was a massive pickup too. I mean, kid's gonna be an All-Pro.
He's the next Marshall Yanda.
Yeah, he's going to be an All-Pro. I mean, he has everything that you want in a center. He's big. He's got quick feet. He's got great hands. I mean, he weren't you saying he might be the most polished center prospect we've ever seen?
That was a scout.
That was a scout.
A scout was saying that.
I mean, I believe it. Kid has everything you want. And I remember saying on the show, like, it's that country strength, man. He's just got it. He's that type of dude where he makes the NFL. He's going to be here for like 15 years, and he's going to be insanely good. He's going to be an All-Pro multiple times. It's going to be crazy. And the last winner I have here is Philly. I really like the Jordan Davis pick. I feel like that's their Fletcher Cox replacement right there. And I really like them getting to Kobe Dean, which I don't know why he fell. I believe it was a torn pec.
It was concerns because he refused and denied surgery after and the doctor's orders, and they were concerned about him, like if that shoulder was totally recovered or whatnot.
Okay.
So I mean, him pretty much refusing to get surgery really turned some teams off late.
Sure. Okay. So I still think that he's going to be a great player. I'm pretty upset the Patriots didn't take him, but I mean, I guess Cole Strange is all right.
Listen, don't get me started, please. I cannot believe the audacity of some people to claim that, just because it was the Scouters who drafted last year.
He better be Logan Mankins 2.0. That's all I'm going to say.
This is the age and this is the generation where if we are upset with a pick, we can't give a guy credit for 6 rings. So,
sure.
6 rings, and then being actually the only coach currently in the league to draft 2 Super Bowl MVPs in his drafting career. Julian Edelman and Deion Branch.
Wow.
So, I don't know.
I'll put trust in Bill.
For a guy who can't draft receivers, that's pretty good.
He can't draft receivers.
Oh yeah, drafted 2 Super Bowl MVPs.
Oh come on, Conti. N'Keal Harry. That's the only argument I need. It's the only example I need.
It's one example.
It's the only example I need. One of them was a quarterback. Like we got lucky.
It's one example I gave you too.
Did you see the Patriots actually also signed the undrafted free agent? They got the quarterback from Miami.
I did not. I honestly did not really keep too much track of the undrafted free agents this year. But I'm excited to give my winners, man.
Yeah.
You ready?
I am. Oh yeah, my last winner just was Philly. Philly had a great draft in my opinion.
My bad, bro.
Yeah,
so I actually only have 3 winners. Okay. I do not believe that a lot of teams truly impressed me this year in terms of their drafting ability.
This was your draft, Gino. This was the
it.
D-backs draft.
No, here's the thing. I love it. I really and truly do. But not a lot of teams made the absolute slam dunk picks, in my opinion, and that's why I only have 3 winners as opposed to 4. But we agree on one of them. It's the Baltimore Ravens. Kyle Hamilton falling right there in your lap. Golden. Absolutely golden pick. I agree with you. Top 5 talent, maybe top 3. Tyler Linderbaum, agree with you. So, I mean, I don't really agree with the scout who said he's one of the best prospects we've ever seen at offensive lineman or guard, because if that was the case, he'd go number 5 or 6 and he'd go top 10, just like Quentin Nelson. Sure. So I personally don't believe that, but I agree with you. He's going to be in the league for a long time. Round 2, pick 45, David Ojabo was potentially a top 15 pick before his injury. I mean, like I said last week, he was getting the hype that Trayvon Walker is getting now. And you get him at pick 45. I understand the injury and if he'll be able to recover, but with all the defensive guys that Baltimore drafted, that well-coached defensive line, and Odafe Oweh really coming into his own last year and is going to improve this year, they can afford to not have him. They can afford to not have him and redshirt him this year. If they get him and he pans out to everything the scouts say, watch out. This Ravens defense is already going to be like more legit than they already are. Travis Jones, I don't know if you remember, but last week he's a defensive tackle out of UConn. I had him going to the Packers in the first round. That's potential first-round talent right there. A big, big man to clog up the middle at pick 76 in the third round. I think that Travis Jones is going to be a huge steal to this Baltimore Ravens team. And then in round 4, pick 110, Daniel Falele, he has starting qualities at the tackle position, and I definitely think he fills a need. And he's able to be developed along with being kind of a rotational guy or a starter. So I think the Ravens had one hell of a draft.
They did very well.
I disagree with you, Will. The Vikings are great winners in this draft. The Vikings are winners.
All right, let me hear your pitch.
Louis Cine, I said last week, listen, I do not believe that he will be a good pick. I think it's going to be a little confusing and he'll struggle initially. But if you're a secondary player, who would you want mentoring you other than 2 age-old veterans like Harrison Smith and Patrick Peterson? Who else would you want mentoring you?
I don't know, like Deion Sanders. I'm kidding. Maybe.
Deion, Coach Pratt.
Yeah, give me Coach Pratt.
but I mean, those are 2 highly respected, highly successful, and still pretty decent NFL
Pappy
veterans.
is a very good veteran to have, I will say.
So isn't Harrison Smith.
Yeah.
Harrison Smith has been elite for about a decade now.
Absolutely.
So I mean, I think that Louis Cine, because of the mentorship he's going to get, is actually going to become a pretty goddamn decent NFL player.
Sure.
And he had some upside already. The only confusion with him, it was never his talent. It was he was playing on a position, and will he be able to adjust in the NFL? That's it. In the other one, I'm sorry, Jesus Christ. The other pick that they had in round 2, pick 42, they traded back and got Andrew Booth, who was projected a late first-round pick.
Yeah.
I mean, Andrew Booth is a great man-to-man corner, and again, 2 secondary pieces who have a little bit of questions, but both guys who had first-round talent, and Booth is a great man-to-man corner, and gets mentored by Patrick Peterson.
Yeah.
Like, that's 2 big secondary pieces to this future that you added.
That's true. Maybe I undermined Andrew Booth a little less than I did.
Yeah,
sure.
Pick 59, Ed Ingram. Have you seen Ed Ingram's tape, the guard at LSU?
Not.
Ed Ingram is a mean son of a bitch. Have you seen that guy when he goes on his poles?
He got a little nasty to him.
Pancake, bro.
He's got a little
He's
nasty.
He's going to be a future Pro Bowler. Book it right now. Ed Ingram, guard at LSU. And then pick 3, Brian Asamoah, a defensive end. He has great play recognition, and his speed's off the charts. He has to work a little bit in coverage, but he has great play rec. He could track down the running backs like it's nothing, and his ability to rush is great. Great speed. Hit the weight room a little bit, but that could be a slam dunk of a pick too.
Yeah.
I mean, and one more, the Chiefs. Okay, everyone who I was high on, the Chiefs ended up getting.
I know.
Okay, and I'm pissed about it.
This.
Trent McDuffie at pick 21. I think that Trent McDuffie, great pick. He's going to be the greatest corner in the history of the NFL.
You know what the question is though?
What?
I need. Does Trent McDuffie sound like a Kansas City Chiefs corner?
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't.
And it makes me sad. Now he's only going to be the second greatest corner of all time instead of the first. But Trent McDuffie, nonetheless, great player. The Chiefs badly needed some secondary, and they got it.
It's a great pick.
And then George Karlaftis, who I would have loved the Patriots to get with pick 21.
Yeah.
Great power guy.
Yeah.
And a perfect complement. You have 2 power guys. Oh, I'm sorry. You have off the edge now. You have speed and you have power. Frank Clark is a speed guy and agility, and then power coming out the. I thought we were ranking sandwiches. I'm sorry, Jake. Okay.
Sorry, Jake.
Power guy.
My number 1 would be the Burger King chicken sandwich. I don't care what anyone says. That thing smacks.
GTFOH.
Dude, it smacks.
I'd smack that thing to the ground and stomp
Gino,
on it with my
have
feet.
you not had the original chicken sandwich?
I have.
Gino, you don't like it?
What?
Conti. It's up there, dog.
Oh, I mean, I kind of woke up in a fucking coma 2 minutes later.
Oh, my
after going to
God.
South Shore Hospital. But anyways, I love Karlaftis. I don't know if I'd call him a steal at 30, but a great value pick. Sky Moore.
Sky Moore was a
The
great
more
pick.
I actually watch this guy's tape,
Yeah.
I like him.
I told you, most underrated wide receiver in the draft, in my opinion.
He's a little bit short, but I mean, he's the total package.
Yeah.
He really is the total package. I mean, he's the prototypical wide receiver that you get, and a good replacement for Tyreek Hill. Brian Cook, a great safety. Finally, Daniel Sorensen gets the hell out of town, okay? Great pursuit, great play recognition, and a hell of a tackler, hell of a thumper at safety. They needed that.
I love how the Chiefs went talent on defense.
Yes.
You need talent, and they
Yes.
went out and got it.
And
I
then
love it.
Leo Chanel. I wanted Leo Chanel
I
so
know,
bad.
Gino. I remember being on the phone with you in round 2. Like,
I know.
come on.
I wanted Leo Chanel so bad.
Yeah.
Why does everyone I love go to Kansas City? I mean, obviously needs to work on coverage, but Nick Bolton is good enough to do that. Okay, he was a great pick last year, and then he has great run pursuit, a great run stuffer at the linebacker position. Leo Chanel, I think, is going to surprise a lot of people. Those are my winners, and that's really what I got. So, I mean...
Gino, I got one more question for you. Did you see Pickens get drafted?
Pickens? Get drafted? Yeah, this is Pittsburgh, yeah.
No, but did you see his reaction to him getting drafted?
I kind of did. I forget it, but I saw it.
Made for the AFC North. He's absolutely made for the AFC North. It's a video of him
like staring at the screen.
Dude,
right?
he looks pissed, but like in the best way possible. I think you can hear it I'll mute it, sorry. But this is his reaction to him getting drafted. Like, that man is made for the AFC North, which is like the most like grit and grind. Like, I'm quoting directly from Lamar Jackson. It's the hood of the NFL. That is what people say the AFC North is. And if you don't know what I'm talking about with this George Pickens thing, go look it up.
Yeah.
Like, he looks like pissed, like ready. I see everyone saying NBA YoungBoy energy. Like, it's awesome.
All right, bro, just
also,
stay healthy.
No, for real, stay healthy. And if you've watched his tape, this guy loves to talk shit. He loves it. His most favorite thing to do is to get into fights. Like, it is. Yeah, look, one of the first things that comes up when you look up is just, I think he throws this guy into like the end zone or something. Like, he's just throwing punches. Like, this dude was made for the AFC North. Like, he was made for this division.
Here we go, Jim.
He throws him into the crowd too. We watch this for a little while. Like, he was made for the AFC North, and I'm so happy he's a Steeler. Pickens looked like the baby. Yeah, he did. Like,
Jake, say no more after that.
Yeah, no, like, leave it there. Yeah. No, but that was my favorite, I think, moment from the draft is watching George Pickens get picked.
Hell yeah.
So that was great. We'll jump into the NBA.
Yeah. Let's get into the first round reaction.
All right.
Kind of recap. So a lot of stuff has happened really in the last 8 days because we had Conti and Nich on Tuesday last week. And a lot of stuff has happened. The first round has really ended. The second
we got
round,
everything right.
The second round has begun. I don't know if we got everything
right.
Go
Or not. I'm pretty sure we did.
But let me say this. I have a couple of notes here, and tell me what you think.
Okay.
I have 4 bullet points that I really think need to be addressed.
Sure.
Time for Brooklyn to blow it up.
Yes.
Utah seriously needs retooling. Not a blow up like Brooklyn, but they need retooling. I'm a little worried about the Suns. I don't think that series should have gone 6 games.
Absolutely not.
And the Timberwolves have arrived.
Yeah.
The Timberwolves have arrived.
I agree with you on pretty much everything there. Brooklyn has to blow it up. It's time. I think Kyrie needs to get out of town. This whole experiment of, we don't need a coach. Defense is optional.
It's disgraceful.
Let's just go. It was awful. It doesn't work. It was horrible. And I hate that it was disgraceful.
Thank you.
I agree with you. And I hate that Steve Nash had to be a part of this because I think Steve Nash is better than he could be a good coach. I really think Steve Nash could be a good coach. It's unfortunate that he had to get stuck with this because this is just, for lack of better words, a shit show. I mean, what happened in Brooklyn this year was awful. I mean, you can't be having that. You can't have your players saying they don't need to be coached. Imagine if any other players in the league did that. Yeah. Honestly, we don't even need a coach.
So, do you remember when I was on the phone with you? Well, Cam Thomas, sleeper pick by Cardinals.
Yes.
When we were on the phone, I told you, I'm like, Jake loves this guy. Jake loves this guy because he just got drafted. So yeah, Jake, I'm cool. I'm funny that you said that. And real quick, Cam Thomas, Jake actually sent me a stat sheet of him and Karlaftis. Cam Thomas is actually pretty goddamn similar to Karlaftis. So, I mean, he could be an impact player, and the Cardinals might have gotten a good guy right there.
Yeah, I think Cardinals are pretty good, too. I mean, I think reaching at Hollywood Brown for a first is a little bit much. But,
yeah, a little bit much.
It's a lot much. I mean, you can't catch anything. But, no, to get back to Brooklyn, I mean, they have to blow it up. Kyrie's got to get out, which sucks, because Brooklyn, before Katie and Kyrie went there, were on the right track. They had a very deep bench. I disagree with them trading for Harden. I didn't like how they got rid of Spencer Dinwiddie and Karis LeVert. I thought those were great pieces to have on your bench. And I mean, if you're a Brooklyn fan, I mean, this is almost traumatizing, right? Like, this is awful.
Yeah. And so, I agree with that. And Utah seriously needs some retooling.
Absolutely.
I think that, I've heard or I've
seen
some
things.
Trade.
Make the Davis trade,
I'm serious.
man.
I'm not even trying to say, give me credit. But like, and I really hope that this is something that I speak into existence, because really and truly, yeah, Anthony Davis obviously has not had the greatest reputation over the last year or so, especially because of his inability to stay on the floor. I don't think he deserves blame for it, because
Sure.
I mean, you can't do anything about injuries. I mean, you can't just be like, all right, roll your ankle today, buddy. Yeah, you can't do that.
Yeah.
But I mean, definitely, I think his trade value has depleted. You'll still have to give up Gobert and probably a multitude of picks, but you'd have to give up a lot less than what the Lakers did to get him in the first place.
The Lakers aren't even going to be able to get rid of Westbrook. If you're the Lakers, you shouldn't get rid of Westbrook. Not because I think Westbrook is some crazy asset to have, but what are you going to get back? You're not going to get back anything with Westbrook.
John Wall, I think.
Sure, but John Wall.
Bad contract for bad contract.
If you remember the beginning of or midway through this year at the trade deadline, they couldn't trade Westbrook because teams wanted a first round pick to take Westbrook's contract, and they didn't have one up to give. So I don't know.
I mean, I would do Westbrook for John Wall. I really would.
Sure.
I would. I
Sure.
mean, and then honestly, if you're Houston, if you want to cut ties with what's his name? Westbrook.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do it. You're a rebuilding team. You can
Sure.
eat his cap. Do what the Thunder did with Kemba Walker.
Actually, you know what? Don't let Westbrook get anywhere near Jalen Green. Please.
Well, that's why I'm saying cut him.
Please.
That's why I'm
I
saying
don't
cut him.
want Westbrook anywhere near Jalen Green because they're both athletic guards, and I can't. I
That's why I'm saying cut
could
him.
not deal with that. I really like Jalen Green.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm saying cut him.
Yeah.
And then eat the cap, kind of like what OKC did this year with Kemba and Al Horford.
Sure.
That's
Okay.
why I'm saying do that. But anyways, I am a little bit worried about the Suns. I know that they just took Game 1 against Dallas, and I mean, who knows? I think that series is going to go to 7. Personally,
Have they played Game 2 yet?
I do not think so. I think they're going to be playing today.
Okay.
But I'm a little worried. I understand that Devin Booker was out, but in my opinion, you are the far superior team. You were the number 1 team, not the number 1 Devin Booker in the Western Conference.
Yeah.
Even if Devin Booker wasn't there, I do not believe there's any excuse to not sweep this New Orleans Pelicans team. And I don't even think there was an excuse for you to gentlemen sweep them. I'm a little concerned. I will say I picked them to come out of the West, but I mean you're facing Luka, man, and I know, like I said, I know you just won Game 1, but we know how much Luka Doncic fights even when he's down.
Yeah.
So
he put up numbers too in that Game 1 that I believe.
So, and then what do you think? So, Timberwolves have arrived, and I mean that.
Yeah.
Sometimes, and I know they lost, but sometimes when you don't think you have a chance and you put up a bigger fight than anyone expected you to, I think a lot of people, that's how you get some names. Sometimes you look better in defeat than you do in victory.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really and truly the truth. Sometimes you look better in defeat than victory. Anthony Edwards, in my opinion, has solidified himself as an all-star.
I think so.
An absolute all-star.
I think he's that good.
Yeah, Karl Anthony Towns had a rough couple of games, but
Yeah.
he really came through when it mattered in the late game, in the late stages of that series.
Yeah.
And then D'Angelo Russell, in my opinion, great starting point guard to have.
He's all you need. He's all you need at the point guard. He
Yeah.
makes the right passes. He's a steady shooter. He's a good playmaker. Defensive end, it's not really his thing. But again, Anthony Edwards is a great 2 defensive guard, so you can stick him on the best perimeter player on the other team.
Yeah.
I agree with you. This Minnesota Timberwolves team is here to stay, in my opinion. You have a lot of young guys. You have a lot of guys who you already paid. You have guys who you're going to need to pay eventually. But I don't think that they're backing down. Obviously, Karl Anthony Towns and D'Angelo Russell want to play together, and they've said that. They've been very public about that. And there's no way they would ever get rid of Anthony Edwards, who I got flack for saying he was better than LaMelo at the beginning of the draft,
He is.
by the way. He is.
Yeah.
But
I said it
not
too.
even
He
close.
is.
Yeah,
Yeah, he is.
It's not even close. I said Anthony Edwards should go number 1. They said, what about LaMelo Ball? I said, no, absolutely not. But
There's no shame. There's
Yeah.
no shame. And clearly Minnesota made the right pick.
Absolutely. He's a and also he's become one of my favorite players to listen to in the league.
Oh, yeah.
He's hilarious.
He is. He's funny.
Anthony Edwards has me laughing every single
He's pure.
post. Yeah,
He's pure.
He's pure. He's very fun to watch and to listen to. And I totally agree with you. I mean, this team is here to stay. You put up a very, very good fight. It's not like they all, played bad and they lost games. I mean, it was just Memphis is a little bit more win now ready. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think if you give this Timberwolves team a little bit more time, let Anthony Edwards take that next leap. D'Angelo Russell's still going to be steady. I really like what Patrick Beverly did for this team.
Yes, Pat Bev, yep.
They need to throw him a bag. I think they already did, or I don't know if he's coming up on a new contract soon. You need to keep that man on the team. He complements this whole what they're trying to do. Great. Besides Karl Anthony Towns talking shit, he needs to stop doing that. because whenever he talks shit, they blew leads. So he needs to stop doing that. When Draymond Green said you have to be yourself, I 100% agree. And Kat, I'm the exact same way. I tried to talk trash once in a basketball game in my life to the crowd, and we lost. And it was not a good idea. I was not mentally ready for getting heckled by the crowd. Some of us can do it. My younger brother Brady loves talking to the crowd, and it makes him play better. For me, no. Kat, I don't think you can talk to the crowd then. I don't.
Willie Anthony Towns.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. It was bad. It was real bad when I did it.
Yeah, hey. So, I mean, that's really all I had for the round one. I mean, I just had 4 very, major bullet points, in my opinion.
I'll ask you something real quick.
Oh, go ahead.
What do you think about the Sixers? No Embiid for game 2. James Harden isn't the same James Harden that we've seen. And Miami looks dominant. I mean, is this a sweep?
I think it's definitely a sweep for sure. I mean, I definitely think that them not even almost blowing that lead to Toronto without Fred VanVleet was inexcusable. I mean, in the way I look at it, Fred VanVleet comes back next year, Toronto's winning it all. So.
You're right. I didn't think about that.
They're gonna go 16-0 in the playoffs. They're gonna sweep everybody.
Yes,
in my opinion. So that's what I think Toronto's gonna do. If they didn't have Fred VanVleet, we'd be talking. I'm sorry, if they had Fred VanVleet, we're talking about possibly the greatest team of all time.
Absolutely.
So
I agree 100%. I'm with you. Yes, sir. I do like Toronto too.
Round 2, baby. You ready?
Yep.
Cool. So far, what do you got?
Okay, so we'll start on the eastern side real quick. Start at the top of the bracket. I have a sweep. I agree with you. I think that this Miami team is, first of all, very, very well coached, very good on the defensive end. They gave Trae Young hell. They're giving James Harden hell right now, especially without Embiid. Even when Embiid comes back, I think this is a sweep, maybe a gentleman's sweep. I don't even see it coming close for that series.
Absolutely. So I'll go real quick.
Yeah.
So I got Miami in 4, a sweep. I got Boston in 7.
Me too.
Yep, I got Boston in 7. I have Golden State in 7.
Ooh.
And you ready for this?
Ooh.
I have Phoenix in 7.
Okay.
I have 3-7 games. I have a sweep.
You know what's funny?
Game series.
Mine is very similar, I will say. So I have, like I said, sweep from Miami and Philly. Miami sweeping. I have the Celtics winning in 7 too. I think that's going to be a very, very good series, and I think it goes down to the wire. I have Golden State winning in 6 here. I think Golden State
6-7, same shit.
Yeah, same thing. And I also have Phoenix and Dallas going 7, but I have Dallas taking it in 7.
Do you?
Luka has been unstoppable. He had 45 points in that first game.
Mm-hmm.
It's looking like he's gonna be that guy. And they scored 114 points in that game. That defense get a little bit better. I think this is a good series. I really think the Mavs are gonna close this out. The Mavs haven't wildly impressed me. I think their role players know their roles. They know what they have to do on the floor. And we saw that in the last series, right? They were a less talented team.
They didn't have Luka.
They still took those games.
And they split.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother reason to me why I personally think I'm close to saying Utah should blow it up. But you're telling me
you got to keep Donovan Mitchell.
You have Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert, and you can't beat a Luka Doncic less Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah,
it's embarrassing.
It's bad.
It's embarrassing, Will. To me, it's absolutely, positively embarrassing. That's my personal opinion on the matter. But anyway, so let me say something to the Boston Celtics in regards to round 2. We're in trouble.
Really? Even after last night?
We're in trouble.
I
I don't like what I saw yesterday.
Too many threes?
And listen, I don't want to sound like I don't want
Van Gundy was pissing me off last night, by the way. I was frustrated.
He was right.
Dude, but we're up by 20. I don't know.
He was absolutely right.
Willie from Selfie almost came out.
Yeah.
I was like, what are you talking about?
Listen,
Celtics in 4!
Get mad at Stan Van Gundy all you want. He was absolutely right. If we do not find a way to unlock or a secret to beating this paint defense of the Milwaukee Bucks, we're not going to win. The shots aren't going to fall like they did every game.
See, I disagree with you because now I think that when we go to game 3 in Milwaukee, they're going to start closing out on those shooters more, which is going to open up more lanes for Tatum and Brown to go to the hole.
The Bucks aren't going to change who they are, man.
You think they're still just going to give us threes?
Yes.
Then we'll keep making them.
They've done it all
Perfect.
season.
Grant Williams is money from that corner 3.
Tell me one thing that impressed you about the second half last night.
Yeah, the second half was rough.
That's what I'm saying.
I will say, admittedly, I'm a bad Celtics fan. I only watched the fourth quarter last night because I was out at dinner at the Cheesecake Factory. But I did go back and watch the game, and it was just a lot of made threes.
We have won 2 out of the 8 quarters so far in the series.
Yeah.
And because of those 2 quarters that we won, we were able to win 4 last night. Okay, and credit to our defense.
Yep.
I'm not going to discredit the defense because we played excellent defense down the stretch, but we are in trouble if we do not find a way to get into the paint of this Milwaukee Bucks team.
I will say Ime Udoka has gained my trust, and I feel like he's going to go in with a new excellent game plan. Because he's not that type of coach, right? He's not that kind of, oh, yeah, we'll just make threes. No, that's not the type of guy he is. He's San Antonio bred. He was under Popovich's wing. He's going to find a way to break this Milwaukee defense. I have faith in him.
I don't know, man. I don't, because the way I look at it, it goes, if you win by 20, why would you deviate from that plan?
Yeah.
You know, so this game 3 is very polarizing. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens. But I'm telling you, if we don't win this next game, I think it's over.
Yeah, it's tough.
If Milwaukee goes up 2-1, I think it's over. I'm serious.
It could be tough.
I'm serious.
And that means that the Celtics are probably going to win in 5 because the last time Gino said it was over for the Celtics, we went on a crazy win streak. So.
Listen,
I
would love for it to happen, but I'm telling you, I'm worried. I'm worried. Even last night, I am worried. We have won 2 out of the 8 quarters. I'll repeat in this series. We have won. We did nothing impressive. We were absolutely stagnant last night, and because we hit threes, we made it. But you're not
it's part of the game, Conti.
We are not the 2018, 2019, 2020 Rockets. That's not who we are.
That's true.
We don't live and die by the 3. Yeah. We are a ball movement team who shoots threes well when we take them, but we also go into the paint.
Milwaukee gives up a bunch of threes, though, so you got to take advantage.
No, I completely understand, but we're not Golden State, and we're not the Houston Rockets in like the late 2010s. That's not who we are. We can shoot threes, and we can shoot them well, but that's after we get lots of good looks because of ball movement and guys like Al Horford taking it in the paint. I'm concerned.
Yeah, no, I would be too. I do agree, but like I said, Willie from Selfie almost came out. We're up by 20, and Van Gundy's talking about the Celtics need to do better.
He was right. He was right.
Sure,
he was.
It is concerning,
right.
But I think if you're giving up the threes, I mean, take them. You know what I mean?
No, and that's not what I'm questioning. Well, yes. I don't want you to say no. Force it to the paint every time.
But you're saying we need to find a way to break the paint in the D. It has to happen.
Yes.
Okay.
We
and I agree with you.
Yeah.
But Giannis is a menace down there. It's hard. Like,
no, absolutely. And then Brooke Lopez, like
great rim protector too.
About a mountain of a man.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I think that actually not playing Daniel Tice last night was actually good, kind of shortening that rotation a little bit. Because as much as
love Danny Tice too. Poor Jason Dan.
I don't think
Jason, hey, don't you say that around. Hey, you know what? Actually, we're not.
We're in Marshfield.
We're in Marshfield now.
You realize that until we were in Marshfield?
Yeah, I know.
That? And Jason Dan's what, in Reading?
Yeah. He's still in Bridgewater right now.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Shit.
We left him behind.
I'm going home. But anyways, so I mean, to kind of go away from the Celtics, I mean, have you said everything you need to say about
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Philly's a fraud.
Yeah.
And I'm willing to say it.
I agree.
Philly's a fraud.
It's Joel Embiid or bust.
I think we're witnessing the decline of James Harden before our very eyes.
Yeah.
I mean, without being in
sad.
a Mike D'Antoni system, I mean, and he goes from what, a 30-point scorer to like a mid-20s point scorer, and stats
even early 20, like a
and
21-point scorer.
Stats isn't everything. I'm a guy who doesn't like to rely on stats, but I mean, Jesus Christ, you'd think he'd at least have flashes of himself, especially him being the number 1 guy with Embiid gone, right?
Yeah.
Tobias Harris outscored him last night.
He doesn't take over games anymore. He can't. Once honestly, and I saw this coming right when they changed the rules on how fouls are called. That hindered James Harden, and he hasn't been able to get into a rhythm. It seems like ever since the new rule with fouls, he can't get to the line.
Did you see the press conference?
I didn't.
They were like, how's your game faring? Or like, can you comment on your recent struggles when they changed the rules for fouls? And he goes, next question.
Yeah. No, he knows, and he actually thinks there was a report that came out. He thinks the rule is because of him, which I think is hilarious. It is, but it's not for him specifically. It's for that type of player who likes to debate
he's at the forefront.
The Trae Youngs, the James Hardens.
But he's absolutely at the forefront of it.
Absolutely, which, first of all, I think is way better for basketball. I hated those fouls.
Yeah.
But it's hard. We are seeing the decline of James Harden before our very eyes. I think Phillies are frauds too. Even when Joel Embiid comes back, I mean, you're going to be down 0-2. I mean, Miami's a very momentum-based team.
Yeah. So, I mean, actually, in my opinion, when you get swept, or when they get swept by Miami in the second round, I don't think you blow it up, but I definitely think you get rid of Tobias Harris because that's way too much money to have on your books. And for sure, you get rid of James Harden, and you just surround him with shooters. Make this the 2009 Orlando Magic.
Yeah.
Make this a 2009 Orlando Magic, and then Dwight Howard is in
Tyrese Maxey's ready too.
I like Tyrese Maxey a lot.
He's a dog. Speaking of dogs, what's
up
my
Fifi?
dog?
Fifi, that's my dog. But
A lot
anyway,
of features on Conti and Nick today.
absolutely. I mean, we're back at the Nicholson household.
Exactly. It's the
So,
best part.
Memphis versus Golden State, box office.
Yes.
In my opinion,
Absolutely.
the series is split 1-1.
Yep.
Okay, John Morant scored 47 points last night.
He's so good, man. He's so good.
Yeah, but-
He's such a good player.
I love John Morant. He's personally one of my favorite players in the league. And
Yep.
you know what? For like young guys, that'd be weird for me to say. I usually
I know,
like the old heads.
especially the hyper athletic, like jump out of the gym type. He's grittying on the court, Gino.
Hey, whatever.
It's one of Gino's favorite guys. I love it.
Whatever. I love the Memphis Grizzlies. I've always loved the grit
Yeah.
and grind style.
Yeah.
And you know what? I always
He kind of does fit into that too.
Yeah. He's a tough son of a bitch.
Oh my god,
He's a
Dude,
hybrid of the old and new
He
school.
had the dunk of the year the other night.
Yeah.
where he literally floated and dunked over. I forgot who it was, but the dude is crazy athletic.
Dude, he's a hybrid of old
If
and
you
new
didn't
school.
know, by the way,
Yeah.
like chalk and jump.
Dude, and the amount of nearly dunks that he's had, you know what I mean?
Oh
like
yeah,
the dunk,
the
what was
Kevin
one
Love
with
one.
Kevin Love?
Yeah,
I mean,
he
dude,
did that. He literally went over someone and like, it's
John
insane.
Morant is the perfect combination of the old school mentality and the old school play style along with the new school. He's a great hybrid player, and he honestly the perfect.
You
heir
and Brady
apparent-
really are the same people.
the perfect heir apparent to Mike Conley. What does Brady love him
The
too?
exact same thing. Brady thinks he should have won MVP. He
Well,
should be the
I'm
guy.
not gonna go that far.
That's true.
I'm not gonna go that far.
Brady and Gino have similar basketball takes.
I predicted
Who would
Luka
have
to
thought?
win the MVP.
Yeah, that's true.
And then what didn't he agree with me with the James Harden thing way back in the day too?
Oh, yeah.
With the MVP over Giannis.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he did.
I mean, listen, Brady Nicholson and Gino Conti are two brilliant minds. I mean,
Okay.
I don't know what to tell you.
Okay.
I don't know what to tell you, but
Okay.
I will say, unfortunately, it's hard for me to make this prediction because I don't know if you remember last year in the play-in tournament, Memphis beat Golden State and knocked Golden State out of the playoffs. So it's tough for me to take Golden State, especially with Gary Payton and his injury.
Yeah, that is tough.
Yeah, I mean, that is very tough. That is a huge defensive piece that you're
Yep.
missing. But I do
Clay
think,
needs to shoot the ball better too.
yes, and I do think that the experience of Golden State takes them over the Young Bucks in this series particularly, but it's very tough for me to say that.
Yeah.
And it's not just because I love John Morant. It's because I think Memphis is just, I think they're incredible, and I think they're going to be mainstays of the top-seeded Western Conference team for year to come. I mean, you have Golden State winning in 7
Yeah,
or 6?
Golden State in 6. Yeah,
So so Gary Payton, that doesn't really tip the scales for you at all, that injury?
it does. I mean, I've been on the record of saying how high I am on this Warriors team. I think this Warriors team is like ridiculous.
Well, you said no one's beaten them. You have them coming out of the West, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, I understand, but and then like listen, Klay Thompson, the defense never goes away, but obviously he's less athletic because he didn't play in 2 years.
Yeah.
He's good, but I mean, that's
Give me a Celtics Warriors finals. Just give me a Celtics Warriors finals.
you'd pay up for that, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
oh yeah.
you'd pay up for a ticket there. You'd
Oh
love
yeah,
that.
I'd be going to that.
I know you would. Bro. First play of the game, it would be Jaylen Brown dunking over Kevon Looney rather than JaVale McGee.
I know, right?
Dude.
Need that again.
I mean, honestly, I think that Golden State, it's tough for me, man. I don't want to switch my pick, and I'm not going to, but I really and truly think that if there's going to be a thing where I'm wrong, it's definitely going to be Memphis and Golden State because,
It's gonna be a close
like, listen,
series.
it sounds a little silly to say that that Gary Payton tips the scales, but when you have a guy who contributes that much on the defensive side of the ball, your game plan has to completely change now, and I don't know if they're ready for that mid-series, but I do think that their experience kind of puts them over the top,
Yeah.
just barely, in this series.
Sure. I mean, the last series that we have is, I mean, the disagreement one, right? You got Phoenix in 7.
Yeah.
I have the Mavs in 7. This is going to be a very close series, and I will say I think Phoenix is in trouble. Sure, you can say a couple of games it was Scott Foster, but I don't know. Luka is crazy good.
Yeah.
He's amazing. 45 points and they scored 114 points and lost. I mean, if Luka can keep up that type of scoring volume, I think Luka is one of the best players in the league.
He is.
And I don't really think there's someone on that Mavs team that can guard him right now. Chris Paul is too small, and anyone else, it seems like they're too slow. And I know Luka's not fast, but
Well, Jay Crowder's a thumper. I'm
Sure,
not saying Jay Crowder
sure.
obviously will guard him and lock him up, but
Yeah.
I mean, if there is a guy that you would want to guard someone like Luka, I would say it's Jay Crowder.
sure.
I mean, and then
He's a
Mikal
tough,
Bridges,
he's
Mikal
a
Bridges
tough
is pretty
guard, man.
good. No,
He's
you
a
can't
tough guard.
Dude, Paul George couldn't defend him, and they're
Yeah.
the same height, or
Yeah.
I think Paul George is even a little bit taller,
Yeah.
right?
It's hard.
Paul George couldn't guard him, and Kawhi Leonard struggled to guard him.
Yeah.
So I mean, listen, I'm not here arguing that Jay Crowder is gonna do it, but I mean, Jay Crowder, I think is your best bet, and Mikal Bridges is really good too.
You know what this just reminded me of?
What?
Do you remember way back? It was like round 1, Rockets versus Warriors or something. And KD had 50 points on PJ Tucker, and everyone was like, "That is the toughest 50 points that KD has ever scored."
I have not seen or heard it, but I definitely believe it.
They were like, "Hey, show credit to where credit is due. That was the hardest 50 KD's ever had to score." Like, he still scored 50. Like, he still had 50. Like, nah, but PJ Tucker made him work for those 50. Like,
Hey, I bet your ass he did, man. So I mean,
I love that.
I mean, we'll definitely go over in the coming weeks. We'll definitely go over the Eastern and the Western Conference Finals, man.
Yeah.
So, but for clarification, essentially what we believe is Celtics, Miami, right?
Yep.
And then you have Dallas and Golden State.
Yes.
So I have Celtics, Miami. We agree there.
Yep.
And then I have Phoenix and Golden State.
I think anyone can take this Phoenix series. But
Yeah,
I
no,
don't.
and
I don't
I-
think it's a sure
And
thing.
you know
at
what?
all.
If you were to tell me like you went into the future and said Dallas Mavericks won this series, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
And the only reason I'm saying that is because again, I understand D Book was out and he's your best player, but still, I mean, a 6-game series against the Pelicans, a team that wasn't even supposed to be in the playoffs but got in luckily because of the play-in.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
It is
I
tough.
don't know. You know.
It is very tough.
So I mean, I'm pretty good. I feel good.
I'm
How about yourself?
good. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. Before we wrap up here, happy May the 4th to anyone out there.
Yep.
Big Star Wars fan. Always have been. Always will be.
Absolutely. Hey, Cinco de Mayo is tomorrow.
Yes,
Bet
exactly.
your ass I'm gonna go to Ocho Cafe in North
Yeah.
Weymouth.
Brady Nicholson's play is on Friday.
Hell
the
yeah.
summer is starting. I'm officially done with school. So it's gonna be real. But you know what? You know who? God, how do we transition this? You know
Come
who?
on, you gotta have it ready.
You know who would really help teams in the playoffs if he was there, Gino?
You know, I don't know, and why don't you tell me?
John Bro. Peace, ladies and gentlemen.